I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know what I do. I don't know why you thrill me like you do. I don't know why, but you do.
So you're hearing the singer Jutka Goz, and I'm about to interview her about her life. She's much older than you would think by watching her, and certainly by hearing her sing. Hello, everybody. It's David Hoffman, filmmaker. And you know, I get a lot of requests to do interviews. It's a compliment to me, and I appreciate it. And every once in a while, I pick somebody that I think is spectacular for all of you. In this case, Jutka. She's lived a life that's quite amazing from the start to the finish. So I'm going to ask her questions, and I'm going to ask her to share what she may never have shared before, some parts of her life and the things that she's done. And I'm going to show you photographs of Jutka at different times in her life. So Jutka, you were Miss Hungary. That's quite an achievement. Yeah, were you like a pretty girl in your town? Were you like treated by your parents as pretty?
I got picked because I was pretty, but my family, I didn't live with my family. I lived in an orphanage all my life. My mother gave me away. And I was approximately was like by myself, and when I made something out of myself all alone, but not with my family help. So I happened to bump into someone, they're looking for a Hungarian girl, and they picked me because I was pretty.
Pretty? What does it mean to you to be pretty? Do you think it's like special? Or, for example, do you think that men will like you differently? Tell me about what you think about pretty.
Prettiness is not everything. Men likes a woman who have brain. And so I did have, not been educated, but I was very, very smart, streetwise. So, and witty, personality. And I knew how to make you really like me. And I had that in me, I suppose. I didn't learn it from anyone, but people like me because of my personality.
I saw a picture of you as Miss Hungary, and I saw some other beautiful pictures of you from that time, and you were one sexy dame. So, do you think men liked you for your personality and your looks? Explain how you see it.
I think it really was my personality. I was so outgoing and witty, and of course, I did not know very much about sex those days. I suppose men did find me sexy, and I want to tell you, bring it to your attention that I didn't speak English, and you're not gonna believe this, but I was a chambermaid, and somebody discovered me. I don't even remember that how I got discovered, but I got discovered by Eddie Alexandra. Is the first photographer who I met in London, and he wanted to photograph me. He polished me because I didn't know nothing, zero zip. I didn't know nothing. And he said, well, he said to me, I'm going to make something out of you. And he wanted me to model for Playboy, but a picture wasn't that great. Playboy did not take it. He took me to the forest. He took me everywhere and he photographed me. I was a baby doll. I had it in me that I was a great model. I really, without learning and everything, I was one of the best pin-up girl in London, England. And I charmed the editor and he put me on the cover, but only movie stars went on a cover. So I made 2 cover on the Parade magazine, and God knows, I would think about 2, 3, 4 center page, big one. So my pictures appeared the army, the navy.
You did a kind of photography that is fetish photography that is very unusual. High heels, whips, masks in some cases, girdles that are very tight and black. Did you understand, to be good at this, did you understand the sexuality, or were you naive to what the men were seeing in these photographs?
I was a little bit naive about fetish stuff, but I wasn't into it. I was just a model. But I love to do it because I was very, very famous as Jennifer Jordan, and I love that leather outfit and very classy. My husband was a very classy man. He discovered Betty Page. I can beat Betty Page anytime, but Betty, you see, life, everything is luck, who you meet. Like I met you, David.
But do you, to be a great model for your husband, did you understand the mindset, the mentality of fetish fantasies that the men who looked at this fantasized? Did you understand that? Or were you just an innocent model wearing sexy clothes?
No, I didn't understand because this guy, this very famous guy, oh my God, he was really, really into it. Just went along with it. I was not kinky, but that's called the kinky stuff. These are called the kinky guys who are really into it. I did pocketbooks. Oh my God, David, I did so many pocketbooks what they sold in the airport for $2.99. No, you can't get such a thing for $2.99. And I want to tell you, I suppose, listen, I born to be a pin-up girl and born to what Leonard made me, because I was great what I was doing. And I don't want to put myself up in a pedestal, but I think I was just as good or not better than Betty Page. And I have a little bit of a sore feeling in me that why I did not get my life story on the screen. And I tell you the truth, I watched it halfway of Betty Page life story on real movie. I mean, they made a movie out of it. I think it was Hugh Hoffman who made a movie out of it. And comme si comme ça, I did not really loved it. I didn't love the movie. I think it could have been better. And I think I should have been me who made the starring role.
I did some work on the internet to look you up, and you have a huge history. And you also did movies, very unusual movies, kind of arty, underground movies, really. Tell me about that, about your various films. There's one nude film that's very unusual.
I was with Peter Graves, you know, from Mission Impossible, and Bedford Dillman, court martial. I want to tell you, you got to know one thing about me, that I came from nowhere. And as I mentioned it to you, that I was a chambermaid, and I got a sack because I didn't empty the piss pot. I got a sack from the Grand Hotel in Brighton. I didn't empty the piss pot. You remember years and years ago they have this piss pot when you went to this very high class hotels, and they had a piss pot and I forgot to empty it. And the housekeeper reported me to the manager, and the manager said, or I go or Jutka goes, and Jutka went. It's the true story, David. Honest to God, I went through hell and back before I got famous. I met Sean Connery before he did Dr. No. And I met him, and he was preparing to do the first James Bond movie, Dr. No. And I met Ursula Andrews and her husband that was just getting married in London, England. I mean, I met everybody who you could think of.
Men. How do you feel about men? Do you appreciate good looks? Do you appreciate money? Do you appreciate intelligence? What is your evaluation of men?
So, David, let me tell you about me. I never was money hungry, ever. Well, everybody loves money. Money speaks and dog barks. So, but I wasn't like one of those gold diggers who are after you, or I really, really dig you, or I didn't. So I went by a chemistry, and I like tall guys because I'm short, but I look a giant in the big high heel. I looked so big. I suppose some of my fetish friends, if they would see me now, they would not believe that I was such a tall girl, but only on the picture. And let's say, like early on, you interviewed me that I was a petite, but with a big boobs. And I suppose men like boobs. I know. I swear to you that I suppose they love me because I was in an aeroplane coming from Paris to London. I still have the article. I met a newspaperman and he recognized me. And he wrote in with my feminine part, and he described the size of me and the petite little Jutka eat two meals on the aeroplane. And he put it in the paper. I eat like a horse. I'm little but mighty. So you can call me Mighty Mouse.
I don't know what it is about boobs. I can't explain it. I really don't know. I'm walking down the street. I'm walking down the street in New York with a friend of mine. Yeah. And I say, can we just walk one block without looking at a woman's breasts? And we try. Walk straight. The brain doesn't allow that, Jutka.
Even if you're married, you'll take a look at it. Oh, that's a good looking broad, you know?
But I believe in loyalty. I have been married to my wife. I'm very loyal to my wife as a man. I feel anything else disrespects her. Not
many people like you, because never mind how beautiful is the woman. I mean, some men have it in them that cheat. And can you blame them? So many beautiful women out there. And then, I married to a very famous guy. I don't know if you do know about that. David, listen to this one. Took me a very long time to get him. But, oh my God, I wasn't even his type. Because he liked tall women. And guess what, David? After a while, I got him. He owned 3 restaurants in Beverly Hills. And everybody, David, the most famous, the cream of the people, they went to the Bistro Garden in Cannon. And if you want to know that he was the most famous, just as famous as Wolfgang Puck. And I did meet Wolfgang Puck because through Kurt, I met everybody like Sidney Poitier, everybody like Harrison Ford. He was his friend, Humphrey Bogart, Elizabeth Taylor. He opened up his restaurant in Cannon, they called the Bistro.
Was he a good husband, in your opinion?
Well, I've told you that I'm streetwise, and I'm a very jealous type, and I loved him so much. And I caught him a few times that he was taking out other birds. and I got him in the end. I wasn't really, I'm telling you, I'm now get serious now. Serious. It really took me a very long time to get him, but I got him.
What happened with the marriage and the man and the restaurant?
His family was absolutely hated me like poison. That's another story, David, that I went through hell and back. I wasn't his wife then. I was only the girlfriend. So now you know that 7 months later, he was a prisoner at home, and 7 months later, he came back. And he was sick as a dog. And I brought him back for life, and he lived another 5.5 years, and he married me. One day he said, why don't we get married? And I grabbed the iron immediately while it was hot. So I said, let's make arrangement. And we got married in the Holland, America. That was awesome. So then 1983, it was in a whole half page. You could still look it up in your internet that Kurt Nicholas died at 83.
When he died, did your life change?
Everybody dumped me. Everybody dumped me. Nobody wanted to know me. You know how it is, the family, and I don't care really, because the family really was hired a private detective that took a restraining order of me, and it was hell and back. It's like a movie story. And it's another thing what you never heard before. His wife just died about 7 months ago, and I did not know that Kurt was married to her a second time. You never hear. I want to tell something. Do you never ever warm up the bean soup a second time, because the bean soup don't taste good a second time when you warm it up. Maybe good, but the third time, it's really bad. And his wife let him come to my house 3 times a week. And he wanted to have 2 times a week, but I said no, 3 times. So I had Kurt in my house, and then now you know that how to put the story together. And that's the time they put a stop to everything, and I never could see Kurt for 7 months. And then he came back, and then it was a different ball game.
Now you live alone. And what's that like after having the life you've lived? Are you okay alone? Is it good?
I have a lot of good friends, and of course, you have to know something about me, that I'm Nick the Greek. I love to gamble. I go to, not now because of the COVID-19, but I became, when Kurt died, the only thing is interested me, and before that, I was already a gambler when it was in my blood, like modeling. It came natural that I used to gamble in the 21 Club in Curzon Street. I played Chamois Fair. Now I'm playing blackjack. I don't say that I'm Nick the Greek. I know everything, but I know my astrology. So I know how to play, but I think I'm still a stupid gambler. But I bet very high, and I thought that I'm a VIP, but I came to the conclusion that you're not really a VIP. They're just giving you the limousine, the big suites, and you're paying for it. Big. And every gambler say, oh, I got a comp. But then everything, the limousine, the big suite, the food, you're paying for it. The long end. Very interesting. And took me a long time to find out that the VIP bet is just the put on. Now I know that they only wanted my money. If I would not have a penny, they wouldn't even give me a cup of coffee.
You are the sexiest old lady I ever talked with or met, and I'm an old man now. What is it that you have that's just so appealing? I don't know how to describe it.
I told you that personality, that's why I got Kurt. Because in the end, he realized that I have a lot of personality, I fun to be with, and I suppose I'm a better, I suppose, like you say, I was, my heytime, I was pretty sexy girl.
Thinking about the people who are watching this, the younger people, what advice would you give them, particularly the women, maybe the men too, for living a better life based on all the life that you've lived?
As I mentioned that to you earlier, you have to be lucky too with who you meet. And I met the right kind of a people, and I got very, very lucky in my life. And it's not to do with God as well. I'm not a fanatic religious, but I do believe in God very much so. And I think it was all God guidance. Because when I came out from Hungary, I didn't know from anything, nothing. Everything was locked. A matter of fact, you're not going to believe this because some people think it's cockamamie story, but I did dream everything, and it happened the same way that how I came out from Hungary. Now you can imagine, I was not highly educated. I didn't go to Harvard, and look at me now.
You're also a singer, and I'd love you to sing a song, but I don't want it to be too close to the camera.
I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know what I do. I don't know why you thrill me like you do. I don't know why, but you do. You never seem to want my romancing. The only time you hold me when we dancing. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why, but I do.
Beautiful voice. I want to thank you for being bold and speaking to David Hoffman. I'm almost as old as you, and I really appreciate the freedom that you've lived and the way that you've just been yourself. So thank you, Jutka.
Thank you, David. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I'm so lucky that I met you. You see, everything is luck in life. I had a great friend when I met, and he introduced me to you.